Hello, my name is Erica Van Eaton. You can find me at ericabaneaton.com. We're going to talk about changing thought processes. But first, I just had to meet my youngest, my 9-year-old, on a bike outside after school, and it feels like 113 degrees outside. So hot. Second, don't mind the braces. I had a crossbite in the back that was giving me headaches that I'm fixing. So if you're an older adult and you keep getting more and more headaches, go get your teeth checked. Okay, now on to thoughts, changing thoughts, negative thoughts into positive ones. So I was sitting in meditation, I don't know, Monday or sometime last week. And what they were showing me was I was having negative thoughts about something, and they had me expand the thought in a bubble, and I couldn't expand it much past my head. And the reason why it couldn't expand much past my head and I couldn't change the thought is because the vibrations within that thought were very incoherent, because the emotions attached to that thought, or that thought provoked, were not good feeling emotions. And so when we look at the chemical state from a vibrational standpoint, the molecules of energy in those energy waves are working against each other, and they create incoherencies within our minds and within our body's chemistry. So when we are consciously aware and we have a negative thought, we want to change that thought into a positive thought, and we usually try to force it. But what happens when we go straight from a not good feeling thought to a positive thought? Let's say something super, okay, like, what if you looked at your thighs and you're like, oh, why are my thighs so jiggly? And you start berating yourself, and you recognize like you're having this negative self-talk. So you stop yourself in your mind and you're like, oh, but no, I'm supposed to love my body. So I'm going to talk positive to my body. So you're like, okay, I love these thighs. These thighs are so toned and so amazing, but you don't believe that, and you're nowhere near loving your body in that moment. So you're actually creating a lot of resistance. And when you try to expand that thought into a better feeling thought, that bubble still doesn't expand, because there's actually a resistance there, because the vibrational mismatch is so much. So what we can do to bypass the resistance and get around that is ask a question. What would it take for me to love my thighs? What would it take for my thighs to feel strong and tone again? What would it feel like if I really did love my body? So we can start asking these questions, and when we start asking the questions, we start daydreaming about what it would feel like. Now, this doesn't have to be a long process. This doesn't have to take a long time, but by asking a question, we're not trying to force something to happen. We're allowing ourselves to experience the what if. What if I did get up and exercise every day? What if I felt the desire to exercise and excitement to exercise to change my body? So we begin to ask these questions to provoke a different chemical response in the body, which helps us slow down our brain waves into something that's more coherent, giving us more clarity. And then when we do that, if we look at the bubble of energy that we can expand that thought out to around our head, we can expand that out into a different dimensional plane where different experiences do exist that feel better. So everything's a vibrational match. If we try to jump and make these big, huge leaps from something that doesn't feel good to forcing ourselves to feel good, we're actually creating resistance. So to bypass the resistance, ask a question. What would it take? What if? What would it feel like? Start asking yourself these questions to provoke a different chemical response, which will give you clarity, which will expand your perception and change the dimensional field that you're playing in. Have a beautiful weekend. And if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them down below, and see you next time.